10 years after her father's brutal murder, and time hasn't healed Danny Vesper's wounds.
It's so hard for me to raise my daughter knowing that she can't see her grandpa.
In fact, in some ways, it's made her pain even worse.
It seemed like I was doing okay for a while, but now it's just harder to deal with.
Over the last decade, she's had to mark many milestones without her dad, Jason, by her side.
He had to miss my wedding and my brother's wedding and the birth of their children.
I wouldn't want anybody else to be my father.
Joshua Vesper says in the 17 years they had together, his dad taught him everything he needed to know.
How to be a great father and husband. That's all I need in this world is my family.
And he'll forever be grateful for their last father-son talk.
I said, love you. He told me love you back.
That final phone call was captured in this security camera photo taken just before 1 o'clock in the morning, the day after the new year 10 years ago.
My brother should have never been out that door that night. Never.
Kim Ott says it was a heated argument with his wife, Debbie, that sent her brother out on a bitter cold night in Scottsbluff, Nebraska.
She kicked him out of the house that night for giving Josh his cell phone back.
What had started as an argument between mother and son.
Me, being a teenager, I'd gotten into a little bickering argument with my mother.
Ended with an argument between husband and wife. Jason left home to cool off, and his nearly every move was captured by security cameras.
This video right here is actually aimed at the Vesper's driveway.
At 12:46 a.m., Jason backs out of the driveway in his blue Dodge Dakota pickup.
There it is. And now he's northbound on Avenue H.
It was a short trip up the street to the nearest convenience store.
A little over a minute later, this is Jason at the truck stop.
By now, Jason was on the phone with his 17-year-old son Joshua, who was staying the night at his girlfriend's house.
He said that he was out driving around, wanted to make sure I was okay.
For the moment, everything was okay. After the two hang up, Jason is seen paying for his Dr. Pepper and cigarettes.
He's the only one in the store besides the clerk.
On his way out, he passes another customer heading in.
This is an elderly male with a cane, and they pass each other, and they don't even exchange a glance.
At that point, Jason leaves the store and appears to be heading home.
That's his headlights right there, and he's pulling up to a stop sign.
It's now 12:56 a.m. The security camera on city-owned property shows Jason stopped at an intersection. It's where cops believe he first encountered his killer.
And that's the suspect's car turning in front of him. And we think that that car hesitates a little bit. There might be an exchange.
I feel like maybe that vehicle pulled a little close to his and maybe he got a little upset.
Whatever happened at that intersection, the driver was about to be after Jason Vesper. The same camera shows Jason circle the block and return to the intersection.
He just keeps on going, doesn't stop at the stop sign, and he goes east on Overland.
His killer not far behind.
Here comes the suspect vehicle around the corner.
Then the vehicle turns around and begins to chase him around the neighborhood.
Cameras at nearby community Christian school pick up the chase. It's 12:57 a.m. The other driver is desperately trying to get Jason to pull over.
Here they come. The suspect vehicle is going to be flashing their lights.
With the other car's headlights now flashing on and off in his rear view mirror, Jason drives for about another minute, then makes a decision that would end his life.
And then they stop for 50 seconds at 14th and Avenue F. We know that Jason's being killed at that time.
For the first time since leaving his house, Jason is just out of sight of security cameras. The view blocked by a house and a tree. Cops say Jason Vesper endured a very brutal attack, stabbed 16 times by someone cops can only describe as
very angry and very violent.
Despite the vicious attack, Jason is still clinging to life and somehow finds enough strength to drive off. Security cameras once again track him.
There's Jason going south on Bryant, and there goes the suspect vehicle. Actually, the last time we see that vehicle.
Now quickly bleeding to death behind the wheel, the father of two makes one last desperate attempt to get home, where his wife was already starting to worry.
She, having mother's intuition, was just thinking, you know, this isn't right, something's not right here.
Danny claims her mom had been trying to reach her dad, but he wouldn't answer the phone.
That's not like my dad at all, to be gone and not answer the phone, so that was definitely the big red flag.
Another big red flag, a big red light.
We could see some bizarre light shining from down the street, you know? We just kind of thought, strange things are happening here. Like, we need to go check this out. As soon as I got to the end of the driveway, I noticed that was my dad's pickup.
Jason had driven off the road and into a neighbor's front yard. Danny was the first to reach him.
When I opened up the door, my dad was actually bleeding a lot. He had his head down. He was barely hanging on to life.
Jason Vesper had come within a block of reaching his family. They were now desperately trying to get help.
Oh my God, my dad's bleeding in the mouth and nose.
Up next, who chased down and killed the husband and father?
They asked her to take a polygraph test.
And cops try a new approach to catch his killer.
As far as I know, nobody had done this before. Within maybe seconds or minutes, they realized this was much more than an accident.
The first murder of 2008 in Scotts Bluff was also one of the most brutal in recent memory.